Hey everybody, welcome back. Mike from Spectre Comics here. Today we're going to do a drawing of Ahsoka Tano to commemorate her live action debut in the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, called The Jedi. So Ahsoka Tano is a very popular character that was part of the Clone Wars and the Rebels show, and also, as we all know, the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker before he turned to the dark side and became Darth Vader. Ahsoka's a great character. I just watched this episode. I'm recording this on the day that the show debuted on Disney Plus. Ahsoka was a great episode. Ahsoka was a great character. We got a lot of backstory, a lot of background information about what happened to the Jedi, who Baby Yoda is. We got his name. They're able to connect mentally so she can sense him and sense his thoughts, and that gives us some insight since the Mandalorian cannot really communicate with him other than just talking to him. He can't understand any responses, but Ahsoka, as a Jedi, as a Force user, can connect with Baby Yoda. It was great to get that background information, and it just makes the show a little deeper. It was a great episode. Ahsoka, played by Rosario Dawson, did a great job. I loved every second of it. We saw some really great fight scenes. We saw Jedi Ahsoka, of course, using lightsabers. And just seeing that in The Mandalorian, which is a great show. I think I've mentioned, not a fan of Disney Plus, or not a fan of what Disney has done to the Star Wars movies. I hated, I'll say Force Awakens was okay. The Last Jedi was an absolutely horrible movie. And the Rise of Skywalker was not good. I went to see it out of curiosity, but I regret that I did. I don't even acknowledge that those three movies exist anymore. I have first Star Wars movies that I have not purchased, starting with The Last Jedi. I did buy Force Awakens on Blu-ray, but will never, ever, ever watch The Last Jedi again, and we'll never watch Rise of Skywalker again as well. The only good things that Disney Plus, I keep saying Disney Plus, the only good thing that Disney Star Wars has put out was, in my opinion, Rogue One, which is a great movie, and this The Mandalorian series. Both seasons have been fantastic. This episode, I think, stands above all the other episodes. It was really great. It was really, if you're an old school Star Wars fan, to kind of get the background information of these characters and to get some of the reveals that we saw. I'm not going to spoil anything here. Go watch the episode if you haven't watched it. This was a great episode, and Ahsoka Tano, played by Rosario Dawson, was really good in the role. So let's talk a bit, while I'm drawing Ahsoka, let's talk about Ahsoka. As of the recording of this video, it is November 27th, 2020, so this is the day that the show dropped on Disney Plus for everybody to see. So I just finished watching it. Ahsoka, the character, arrived way back during the Clone Wars, when the Clone Wars were brand new as far as, showing us movies and shows about them. Back when I was in college, we were getting rumors that George Lucas was going to be making a prequel trilogy before, episodes 1, 2, and 3. At that time, before we had news of that, as a Star Wars fan, as somebody who grew up with Star Wars, we didn't know if we were ever going to get any Star Wars movies ever again. I mean, there was just this huge period of time where there was just nothing. There was novels, there was, some expanded universe stuff. And I had started getting back into Star Wars at this time. I was in college. There was a couple of books like The Essential Guide to Characters, stuff that came out. And literally the tagline on the book was, this will get you up to speed if you've been kind of away from Star Wars for a while. And I started buying those books at the time, the Essential Guides, a couple of other books of art and the characters and places, locations, and started to kind of get excited about Star Wars again. But we still didn't even have the rumors that everything was coming back. Then George Lucas did the special editions, which we got to see some of the original trilogy with some enhanced computer graphics and fixing some scenes and adding some scenes that were deleted. And although not all of that stuff was great, there are some people. I'm not one of those people who it's, the original is the best. I mean, I could see there's flaws in the original. But it was cool to see some upgraded scenes and using some, technology today to make the movies a little bit crisper and some of the special effects a little better. So I liked these special editions, and then we were starting to get the rumors of the prequel trilogy coming out, and obviously we got to see the Clone Wars in that in those movies. What wasn't clear was there was no character of Ahsoka at that time, not until some cartoons spawned off with Ahsoka in them, and in even the digital shows, the computer-generated graphic shows came out showing Ahsoka as a character. Obviously, the Padawan of Anakin Skywalker before he turned to the dark side became Darth Vader. Ahsoka was always a great character, and Ahsoka's obviously carried through from the Clone Wars through to Star Wars Rebels. Not that I'm not a fan of those shows. I don't watch them. I just haven't got into them as much. I think I got through the Clone Wars probably about midway through before I kind of just stopped watching it. And again, nothing wrong with the show. I don't even know why I didn't carry it through and watch it. And I feel Star Wars Rebels is kind of targeted towards a younger audience, and so it's not really in my list of things to kind of keep up with. And again, I always say that I like cartoons and I like stuff like that, but I don't know, it just didn't click with me, even though there's familiar characters in it, and it's probably a good show. I'm going to give it credit where it is. I just haven't watched much of it, so I can't speak to that show very clearly. But obviously, Ahsoka has a huge storyline that carries not only through the Clone Wars, but through Rebels. And then now we get to see her played by Rosario Dawson in live action in this episode. Again, a great episode with a lot of emotion and a lot of just good storytelling. And Dave Filoni directed this episode of the show. Really good job. Really great characters, and again, I love The Mandalorian, but I always like when The Mandalorian's kind of teamed up with somebody to do a task, and that's what happens in this episode. Again, I'm not going to spoil too much. Go watch the episode. I'd highly recommend it, and probably will require a couple of watches because there's a lot in it. Let's talk about Ahsoka, the character, about where it goes from here, because so she appears in this episode. It looks like it's being set up that that's all we're going to see of her this season in The Mandalorian. I would love to see this character again, and there's rumors that they're doing a spin-off show for Ahsoka. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't heard anything definitive, but I've seen internet rumors that say that they're working on an Ahsoka show, and that should be interesting if they do that, but obviously she'd have to have a greater cause, which she is trying to do. And in this episode, it seemed very compartmentalized where she was, what she was doing, and what The Mandalorian was helping move forward the story in this episode. So if they did an Ahsoka Tano show, that'd be really cool. And again, with the character development, and even going back a couple episodes ago when they had Katie Sackhoff playing the live action Bo-Katan, I do want to see more of the Mandalorians, and I would find it interesting to see a conflict between Mandalorian with the group he's with and the Mandalorian with Bo-Katan's crew, and see, because there's obviously differences between what's the code of the Mandalorian. So it would be very interesting to kind of see one way or the other if he chooses to go a different path than he's on. But again, great story development that I'm looking forward to seeing resolved in either this season or future seasons, as supposedly there's several more seasons on the way. Again, an Ahsoka Tano show would be really cool to see where that goes. But I do want to see her interact with the Mandalorian again. I liked the team up. I liked the story. And obviously, there's a lot more to do with the Baby Yoda character. And I think the Baby Yoda character really is a great motivation for the show because, you're always worried that something's going to happen to him since Moff Gideon is kind of going after him. But Ahsoka, Ahsoka even said in the show, and again, this isn't really a spoiler because everybody knows this, but Ahsoka said there's not many Jedi left at this point in time. And I think this show takes place right after the Return of the Jedi, right after the Empire fell. And that's it for this drawing of Ahsoka Tano. Hope you had fun following along and listening to me talk about the show and her portrayal in The Mandalorian. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. I thought it was great. Let me know what you thought about Ahsoka showing up in the episode and what you thought of Rosario Dawson playing the character. I thought it was really great. So that's my opinion. Let me know yours below. The Mandalorian speed draw, as I mentioned, will be linked in the description below. Also be tagged at the end of this video, so stay to the end for that. And hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Have a nice day. We'll see you next time. Talk to you later.